Hello YouTube, Wes here, checking back in with a brand new episode of the Vinyl Survivor Show. As always, 10 albums up on the chopping block. I'll let you know what I thought of each one, I'll let you know whether they're going to be staying in my permanent collection or whether they just weren't for me. Go ahead and get into it. The first one here is a hip-hop record from the early 80s. We have the West Street Mob with Breakdance, Electric Boogie. Some great early electro kind of hip-hop stuff here. Hadn't heard this group before. I didn't get into hip-hop until 86 when Run DMC came out with Raising Hell. So anything before that, I'm kind of not real knowledgeable on. So it's really cool to find this earlier stuff, earlier hip-hop, and be able to check it out. And I definitely enjoyed this one quite a bit. So this will be staying in my permanent collection. And that's on the Sugar Hill Records label. West Street Mob, first one in the collection on this episode. All right, next one I have to share with you, kind of a novelty record here. This is a 12-inch single from Mr. T. This is Mr. T's Commandments on 12-inch single. It's on the Columbia label. So yeah, this is Mr. T kind of semi-rapping, trying to tell the kids, you know, stay out of trouble, don't do drugs, all that kind of stuff. Definitely a very 80s kind of thing. Yeah, fun listen, but this is definitely not something I need to keep around. So this is going to be going away. Just wasn't something I need to keep. So not going to make it this time. All right, next up I have a George Benson album. When is this from here? Don't see a year, but I'm guessing this is from the mid-70s. This is George Benson, Good King Bad on CTI Records. And yeah, this is one of those George Benson albums, CTI Records albums that has a lot of orchestration on it. And unfortunately, I didn't vibe with it when I heard it. So this is not going to be staying around for me. There is the CTI label. All right, next up is a classic from the pop psych genre. This one was well loved and definitely lived up to the hype for me. I really did enjoy this quite a bit. This is Blues Magoo's Psychedelic Lollipop. Yeah. A stone cold classic in the pop psych genre, I think. Definitely talked about a lot, definitely shown a lot in the genre. Yeah, really, really good pop psych here. I definitely enjoyed this one quite a bit. Definitely is worth paying for if you want to collect this kind of stuff. And that's on the Mercury label. Yeah, Blues Magoo, Psychedelic Lollipop. Lives up to the hype. I definitely enjoyed it. It's going to be a keeper in my collection. All right, next thing I had to share with you is a Vanilla Fudge record from 1984. Yeah, kind of a late one from them. This is, what is the title on this one? Titled Mystery. So Vanilla Fudge from 1984. Yeah, I just struggled. I couldn't get into this one at all. It definitely is kind of all over the place in its sound. Sometimes it has that classic Vanilla Fudge, you know, hard rock kind of sound. Sometimes it's very 80s, and it just didn't work for me overall, so not a keeper for me. But this is a nice promo with the radio timing on the front. This one does have a printed inner sleeve with lyrics on it. That's pretty uncommon for the 80s. And that's on the Atco Records label. So yeah, Vanilla Fudge Mystery unfortunately didn't make it for me, but I was glad to be able to check it out and hear what an 80s Vanilla Fudge album sounded like, but I can't recommend it. All right, next thing I have to share with you, an album by Mike Oldfield. This is Hergest Ridge. Definitely a well-loved album from him from 1974. Instrumental. It's hard to pinpoint Mike Oldfield. It's kind of new agey. It's kind of electronic. It's kind of proggy at times. It's Mike Oldfield. You know, it's if you know Mike Oldfield, you know what this is going to sound like, kind of. But a good album from him. I really enjoyed it listening to this one. There's that cool Virgin label. Yeah, so definitely if you can get into some instrumental music, I definitely recommend getting this one if you can. A really good album from Mike Oldfield. All right, next up, kind of a folk psych kind of thing, I guess is the best way to put this. This is, I guess it's a self-titled album from the artists, or the group The Collectors. They're from Canada. Yeah, kind of, as I said, kind of a folk psych kind of thing. It was just okay in my opinion. I didn't love this. It does have, side 2 has a full 20-minute sort of suite on it. It was pretty good, but the first side, it was just ho-hum. But overall, you know, I was glad to hear this one, but I didn't love it. It's not something I need to keep around. This is on the Warner Green label. So yeah, the collectors, just okay. Not really something to seek out, in my opinion. All right, next up, we got an album from 1970. This is Paul Kantner and Grace Slick with Blows Against the Empire. Really killer album. This was my first time hearing this album, and I was definitely impressed. I like this a lot. Definitely some good 70s, early 70s hard rock kind of stuff. Got this cool foil inner gatefold. Comes with this booklet here with it's got lyrics and artwork in it. Just pretty neat. But yeah, I really like this album quite a bit. And then the inner sleeve itself has more artwork on it. I definitely want to find an upgrade copy of this. This one, the jacket is in quite rough condition, but yeah, I like this a lot. Definitely want to upgrade it at some point. The RCA Victor label there. Paul Kantner, Grace Slick, Blows Against the Empire. Thumbs up from me. I loved it. Staying in my collection and looking for an upgrade. So that was highly recommended. All right, next up, staying in the sort of 70s hard rock genre, we have Traffic with When the Eagles Flies from 1974. This has the title track When the Eagle Flies on it. Good sort of folk rock kind of stuff, 70s folk rock. It's Traffic. They're a solid band. Definitely a group I enjoyed, and I enjoyed this album from them. This one has some lyrics and artwork on the inner sleeve. And cool custom labels. So yeah, Traffic's When the Eagle Flies from 1974. I dug it, and it's going to be staying in my collection. Okay, and last but not least, I got a little bit of fusion jazz here. This is Shakti with John McLaughlin with Natural Elements. 1977 is the release year on this. Very spiritual jazz, rocks, fusion kind of stuff. Yeah, very spiritual, kind of getting a bit of Indian kind of influence in there as well. Yeah, really like this one. Very kind of basic inner sleeve in here with some instruments on one side and nothing at all on the other side. And this is on the Columbia Red and Yellow label. So yeah, Shakti, John McLaughlin. If you like some spiritual, fusion-y jazz kind of stuff, John McLaughlin type stuff, definitely check this one out. I like it. It definitely is a keeper for me. A thumbs up. That's going to do it for this episode of The Vinyl Survivor. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a like if you liked the video. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe and then you'll be kept up to date with future episodes. If you want to check out my Discogs store, you can get to that by going to deepdishrecords.com. That'll take you right over to Discogs, where you can check out all the music I have for sale. Stuff I didn't like in the show generally tends to end up in the store, as well as other interesting things I find when I'm out and about, so I think you'll enjoy checking it out. Always adding new things there. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, great night. Remember, there is no bad music, only music you don't like. And we'll see you again next time. Cheers.